Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. It's May 23rd, 2025. It's Julie with PhotoFabPaperFlowers, and thank you for joining. This video is a live tutorial on Facebook and will be saved to YouTube for future replay. Hi there. Welcome in. So while some of you are joining, I'm just going to start adding veining to my sepals. Hi there. So please join in and we'll get started shortly. Hey Jeanette, hola. Hello Vanessa. So we'll get started. I'm just gonna start veining the sepals. Thank you for joining tonight. Happy Friday, May 23rd. Thank you for your patience. So we're making a supersized flower, almost 8 inches. This is going to be good for your flower stands. And it's going to be a gorgeous peony. Now you can use any color that you want. I'm just using white. Very neutral. But it'd be gorgeous in any color. So welcome in everyone. I'm just adding veining to my sepals while you're all joining. So please say hi and let us know where you're watching from. And if you're new here, we super appreciate you hanging out with us. Hey Martha. Oh, she's at her new home in Florida. Congrats. Hey Christy. Welcome, welcome. Again, I'm just adding the veining while some of you are joining. Pardon me, it's so windy outside and I just ran outside, so thank you for your patience. So we're making the larger supersized flower, and this can be used on your flower stands, the tabletop ones. She's super gorgeous. And I'm going to see if using 2 of this size and then a smaller one will work on my flower stand. So again, I'm just adding some veining to my leaves while you all join with the embossing stylus. So draw your line down the center and then draw your lines towards the center and it creates a V shape or the veining. I am using a darker green because that's what my flower stand is used with these colors. So I would match whatever your color you used on your flower stands. Now that you also don't have to put this on a flower stand, it can be used in some larger projects or a larger stemmed pot or a vase. So not necessarily does it have to go on these tabletop flower stands, but they're so pretty. So again, I'm just drawing a line down the center, and then I draw at an angle towards that center veining. Okay. Line down the center, and then at an angle, add your veining. Ooh. So we'll go over the sizes now. All right, again, I am using white paper. I'm using by Printworks. They do offer, I do have it in my Amazon storefront. It has 100 sheets, so this is perfect because I needed quite a bunch. 1 petal, well, except for these, I could get 2. Petal 6, I could get 2 on a page. Otherwise, it was 1 petal per page. All right. So thank you, Printworks, for supplying the white paper. And the green is, excuse me, it's the one they don't offer anymore. It's Jelly Bean Green from Cardstock Warehouse. You can get it on Amazon yet, but they don't offer it at cardstockwarehouse.com. But again, it's the green that I used on my flower stand for my existing leaves, so I wanted to keep them the same. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So for petal 1, we're using the Crinkled White Peony. So just like in the directions, we're making it pretty similar, except for I'm not using that center. We're just going to use all the petals. Okay, so we are going to use petals 1 through 6 in the sepal. The leaves are already on my flower stand, so I didn't need to add any extra leaves. So we will need the flower shaping mat, so a soft foam mat, the embossing stylus we used for our sepals already. So I added my veining. I did add some antique linen Distress Oxide already, just a little bit from the center of, from the base of the petals out. We're going to add the metal set of 3 little cups for the peony molds. Comes in a set of 3. I'm just trying to get the other 2 sizes. So we're going to be using the larger out of the set of 3. We need a pair of precision scissors. I'm using the 3/16 blue dowel rod. And then we need our metal ball stylus tool. So I'm using 3 of these. Our handy dandy Surebonder mini glue gun, I like because it folds up. And our 8-inch Gorilla glue sticks. What else? I think most of everything is out. There's that bug from last night is still making his appearance around here. So I'm going to be using a little bit of seedless preserves and a little bit of forest moss. So we're going with the green. I'm sorry, my nose is all of a sudden as soon as I go outside. Oh, you can make this flower in red. I was going to do that. I didn't have enough red paper. So definitely you can do a big red flower like this, would be super duper pretty. And then you can do the big white one and then a red and a blue. For sure. I just kept it white because if I take it into work, it's neutral. Or I could use it for a party or whatever. But any color this will do. Again, this flower would be pretty in red. I was going to cut it in red to make it more patriotic. All right, so for petal 1, you're going to cut 3 at 7.5 inches. So literally all I did was duplicate the original size, my project, and then moved it down under. I inserted a line in my machine's design space, and then I just resized them in the same order that we made the original Crinkled White Peony. So it makes it super duper easy. So 3 at petal 1 at 7.5 inches. Petal 5, you're going to use 2 of them at 7 inches wide. So if you type in the width, the height automatically adjusts. And because I use the app, sometimes it distorts them, even though the image size is, I need to report that to them. It drives me crazy. Even though the image is locked, when I duplicate and move it, it sometimes distorts them. Petal 4, you need 2 at 6.75 inches wide. Petal 3, you need 2 at 6.5. I thought I had them all lined up. Petal 2, you need 3 at 6 inches wide. I had everything lined up, but I don't know what happened. 3 of those. And then petal 6, you need 7 of them at 5.9. And these, you can get 2 on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Very carefully. For the sepal, you're going to cut 2 of them at 7.5 inches wide and 1 at 6.5. And I just added the veining with our embossing stylus. Okay? So I'll give you a moment if you want to snap a screenshot. And then I have how we're going to assemble the petals. And I'm going to quick blow my nose while you do that. Blowing the pollen around, my friends. Okay. Now we start our peony, the long process of styling our petals. But before we do that, let's finish off our leaves. So I already added veining with the embossing stylus. So if you joined a little late, I was doing that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of forest moss, not a lot, just adding some variation randomly on the petals. It doesn't do a lot of color change, it's just enough. You can go around the edges. I did for one of my sepals in my sample. So I like to brush on just a little bit again to get some different highlighting of coloring. Flip it over and do exactly the same thing. So you can see the veining more on the back. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to just add a little bit of coloring again on all 3 of these. So thank you for joining as we start off this 3-day holiday weekend. Hope some of you don't have to work. I was officially done at 5 p.m. Eastern. I know a lot of people had off. And our school district where I live in, it was their last day of school already. And I guess the seniors graduate tonight. Crazy. So my daddy's done driving bus for the summer. Okay. And again, it's very subtle, the green on this jelly bean green. Now this one is from Cardstock Warehouse. Again, I use this color just because it matches my flower stand. So if you weren't able to attend the workshop, I do offer it in my Etsy shop. And all mini flower templates are 50% off through the holiday weekend. And we're just going to brush a little bit of the forest moss on. You can get some at the edges. I don't do the entire petal. I didn't ink my petals a lot on my flower stand, so I'm trying not to ink these as much. But you know me, I have to add a little bit of purple. So I did add a little bit of forest moss on this one. So now we're going to add just some purple because I cannot not add it anymore. Just randomly. I do like to get it at the base a lot. I don't know, anybody else have the purple as much as I do? Hey Lorena, how are you? Welcome in everybody. Thanks for joining. We are making a supersized flower and I'm going to be putting it on our flower stands. Now you can use any color. I'm using white with a little bit of inking. You can use red or do red, white, and blue on your flower stands, whichever you prefer. But we are making a large peony, so it will take a little bit of time to style. So I appreciate you hanging out and keeping me company as we create a gorgeous flower. So if you're watching in replay, thank you also for stopping by. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, live or in replay. I like to add a little bit of purple to my greens. We added maining with our embossing stylus right at the very beginning of the video while everybody was joining. I was doing that. Please stretch before you make this flower. We have a lot of fan folding and rolling, so I can feel it in my shoulders already. This will be my second one back to back, so. So I have about 6 flower stands from doing my samples to our one we made at flower camp the first year, and then from my workshop, and then filming it. I do have multiple around here, so I do want to take 1 or 2 into work. That way they're out of the craft room and I can share the creativity. And what's good about the flower stands is it's magnets, how we attach the flowers, so you can easily detach them. So if you wanted to do them as rentals for parties, it's easy to switch out the flowers. All right, so for our sepals, the 2 large ones are 7.5 inches. We're going to take our coastal blue 3/16 inch dowel rod. I'm going to place the dowel rod right down on the top of the petal. You're going to pinch it up with your thumb and roll. I'm rolling both of them at the same time. If you're not comfortable, it's okay. You can do one of the petals at a time. So pinch it up with your thumb and roll it. Doesn't have to be super duper curled. Hi Pat, thanks for joining tonight. Pinch it up and roll. I go at an angle sometimes. Pinch it up and roll. Okay, I hold it down with my left hand. I'm right-handed, so then you pinch it up and roll. And there you have it. And I like to assemble mine under. And then for our smaller size, it's 6.5 inches wide. Pinch it up with your thumb and roll. So we're just going to go right around and do that exact same technique. And now our sepals are all styled. So I'm going to put my coastal blue dowel rod away. Put our dowel rod chart away. All right, we're going to start with our large petals. So we have a lot of fan folding and styling to do for all of our petals. So here we go, friends. So I added, again, on all petals, I brushed on antique linen on my white paper. So I used the larger applicator, and I just did from the base out. I did that whole technique on both sides. Okay, so again, antique linen, the same color I use for my traditional crinkled white peony. So for all of these, you're going to fold them in half. A little bit easier because these are larger. And then you're going to fan fold. So fold it forward, backwards, forward, backwards, and then forward. And there's your fan fold. And we're just going to continue this technique. Did everybody have a happy Friday? So Friday, May 23rd, 2025. Woo! It's a good day. I had tacos for lunch with my friend. We're both taco people, so let's fold it forward, and I wore my shirt. If you don't like tacos, I'm nacho type. My favorite shirt to wear when I go pick up the tacos for us. Okay, then I open them. And that's step one. I'm going to take our next two. They're all the same. These three are the same size. So for the sake of time, I'm going to do two of them at a time. So it is going to be a little bit harder, but you can do one petal like we just did. So fan fold, so fold it forward. I turn the petal on its side. Bend backwards, forward, backwards, and then I'll just fold up the bottom. Okay, so that exact same technique. Fold it forward and backwards, forward. I hope you enjoyed last night's tutorial. She turned out so beautiful. Okay, so again, we're fan folding. Turn the petal on its side. Pick a point and just bend it forward. And then backwards, forward, backwards, and then lift up. Yeah, Martha. Well, you were getting settled in your house, so you have, we've done a lot around here. And then there's layers 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to continue that process. So our next two are petal 5 at 7 inches wide. There we go. Line them up. I'm going to do two at a time again because of time. Fold it forward. Place the petal on its side. Fold forward. Oh, goodness. Backwards. Forward. Backwards. And then you can lift the bottom up. So this is a Crinkled White Peony template. This is our third flower with the template that we released this month. Fold it forward, backwards. And again, you can do any color. You don't have to ink. You can make a red one. Like I mentioned, I was going to do that. And we're just fan folding all the petals. Turn them on their side so it's horizontal. Fold forward, backwards, forward, backwards, and then I usually lift the bottom up. Open them up. Okay, and that's petal 5. Next two are petal 4 at 6.75 inches. You're going to fold them in half. And then on the side, fold forward, bend it backwards, forward, and then backwards. So yeah, getting that peony look is a lot of work. It looks effortless, like it would be so easy. So please, please, please stretch before this one. Forward, backwards. Pat, did your peonies bloom yet? And then you open. Now we have petal 3. We have 2 of them at 6.5 inches wide. Again, all you need to do is, where's the 2 skinny? Fold it in half. Again, if you don't want to, you don't have to necessarily roll both of them at the same time. Turn it to its side, fold forward, backwards, forward, backwards. Okay, and we'll do it all over again. Forward, backwards, forward. Just keep squishing them together. Bend it forward, backwards, forward. Open them up. And that's the start of our petals. A large, super-sized crinkled white peony. Now we have 3 of them. I can only do 2 at a time. We're gonna be conscious of our shoulders. So we're gonna fold them in half. Bend forward, backwards, forward, and backwards. You're all super quiet. Thank you for joining tonight. If you're new, let us know where you're watching from. To all my OGs, thank you for hanging out. Happy Friday, friends. Who else is happy? It's a 3-day weekend and it's Friday. Okay. Open it up. So we're starting making our texture on our flowers. For our supersize peony. And we have 1 left of petal 2. So fold it forward, backwards. I have not used textured cardstock for these, but you could do that as well. Textured cardstock and my Cricut don't get along. But Chip and Larry are very particular with the kind of paper that they like. For Martha, for this one, it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 16 sheets of the white and 3 green. I could get 2 of petal 6 on one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. If you use the 12 by 24 paper, you can get a lot more on. But these, you can, way you set them up on the mat, you can get 2 on a sheet. So I stacked 2 of these. This is petal 6. We have 7 of them. You can see they fit on a sheet. And I am fan folding these as well. Yeah, I don't, I have a Cricut Explorer Air 2. I have 3 of them. And it depends. I have used textured for leaves sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't cut very good for me. But yeah, you definitely could with this, and especially because these are larger petals. I would still probably fan fold. I still like a lot of texture. But yes, it is very hard on my shoulders. Yep, 16 sheets. Hey, Kim. No worries, we started late. We are making a supersized peony for our tabletop flower stands. So I went back to more of the traditional crinkled white peony. The only thing I changed up was the color of my leaves to match my flower stand I already have made. So we are still fan folding. Now, some of my centers got distorted, so you may see a little bit of a different size. Oh, Bally! Thank you for joining. Bally was organizing her goodies, crafting goodies. Yeah, once you start that, Bally, it's hard to stop. We did start at 7:30, so all good, friends. And we're just fan folding our large petals. Again, you can do any color. This does not have to be white. If you want to go more with the patriotic theme, this in red would be beautiful, or even just white with no ink. And then you could add a red one, and then a smaller blue, or whatever you like. The good thing about the tabletop flower stands is the flowers are interchangeable, because we just add a magnet. And this was all cut with 8.5 by 11 sheets. So that your constraints are your mat sizes and your paper sizes. So you can go larger, you just may have to add a couple more petals. I added one more of the largest petal, and I added several more of the center. And I didn't actually do the rolled center in it. So we're almost there, and then we'll start our next step in creating the crinkles. Oh, Bally, you used to watch it with your brother. So thank you all for joining. Happy Friday. We are working on a beautiful, oh, she looks so pretty on the stand. I can't wait to show you. This would be gorgeous for weddings or a birthday party, or... It's just so pretty. The only difference with this one and my sample, I added a little bit more color out towards the tips for petal 6 because we have 7 of these. And because it's very closed up in the center, you don't see the coloring as much. So you will see the difference in the color. I see it on my stack. So we're just fan folding all of these. So 16 sheets for your solid color of 8.5 by 11. And then 3, I had to do 3 different sheets for my sepals. No leaves because it's already on my flower stand, but you definitely could add the leaves, just like we did with the crinkled, and you can use a much thicker stem. Or your larger vases, this will work. It's about almost 8 inches, so. She looks super pretty. Definitely, like, this is one where I sit in bed and I normally fan fold everything, and then it's all ready for the next day to assemble these. I'm going to see if this size will work for 2 of mine, because normally I did 8 and 4 inches for my other one. But I think this one, definitely we could do 8 and maybe 5 inches. But I'm going to try it with 2 8 inches on my stand to see if it holds up. I think in 3 different sizes it would be pretty. All right, after we do all the fan folding for all the petals, so that's 3, well, 7, 10, 19 petals. Fold them, flip it over. And now we begin our next step of styling these. So we don't need the embossing stylus for these because these are much larger petals. We only needed the embossing stylus for the veining on the sepals. My next step was taking one of the smaller metal ball stylus. And again, I'm still going to go back and forth to add some lines. So I want to get all of these little pieces more around the top edges. And I'm going to go all the way around each of our petals. So we still have those ridges from the fan fold, but it's a lot more texture. So again, I'm trying to get the edges, so I just go back and forth vertically on the petal. Okay. Stretch, believe me. Open it up, and then vertical lines. Then I come through with the larger end and I go over it one more time. Then we take the largest of the 3 set of my metal peony molds, the metal spheres. Press it into that mold. I take a larger metal ball stylus and I let it really get crinkly. And it's going to shape our petals. So you can see now they're not flat. They're taking some shape. So for layers 1 through 11, we're going to do this process. Because our petals are much larger, we have to use our metal little bowls. Okay. Now we start the process all over again. Back and forth. That's funny, Bally. So if you're watching or listening on YouTube, Bally says she remembers when beds were used for sleeping in hubby. Now, most definitely better to use it for crafting. I love it. Well, I don't have a husband, so... That's my downtime, watching a little bit of TV before I go to bed. Okay, then we come through with the larger end, and then I really just go over it. Sometimes I go in a circular motion. And then we go and press it into our the largest of the three with the metal peony set molds. And one of our larger metal ball styluses. We get to pull out the big guys tonight. We want it to be crinkly. How much work it takes to get that gorgeous look. And then we go on to our next one. I'm okay without having one, Bally. I did at one time. So one, now we're going back and forth. So again, we're going over our fan folding to shape our petals, friends. Thanks for joining. Happy Friday. Anybody doing anything this weekend for the holiday? Martha, are you sweating down in Florida? But now you have good AC, I'm sure. Bally, did the sun come out yet? We got sun, but it's super windy here today. So how's New Bedford? And then we go over it with our larger. And how's your grandson? So now we have a nice shape, but to get our curved shape, we use our metal ball. You press it in, bring in the larger metal ball stylus, and just give it a stir. Yeah, the pink ones are too small. Though it won't fit in the largest. If you have a small bowl, you can use that. Or this is the larger of the three of the metal ball, set of 3 metal molds. I can talk. And then we start over again. It's like Groundhog Day. Back and forth, all the way around. And then I go over it with the larger end. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we press them all in. So for all of these petals, we're using this larger mold. You can see I want them crinkled, so if it gets really crinkly, that's okay. I think we did that one already. Yep. And I just keep stacking them on my stack in order from largest to smallest. And we go to our next one. Okay. Vertical lines. Smooth out our fan fold, but the fan folding gave us some texture. And then I go with the larger end. I go over it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to use our metal ball, or our metal ball stylus, and our metal mold. And we just press the petal in and get that more crinkly, curled cup look to take the shape of our metal mold. Put it on our stack. And now we grab our next one. Oh, well, I'm glad he's doing okay. Oh, yes, Kim, my friend Jennifer's going to see the Blue Angels. I saw on Facebook when they arrived. Should be nice. I'm glad the rain finally stopped. I need to get out and walk. Okay, then we go over it with the larger one. And then we press into the larger metal mold with the larger metal ball stylus. So again, for layers 1 through 11, we're using, I think it's 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe I can't count. Oh my God. For layers 1, or for petals 1 through 5, you do this technique. And then we pull up our next one, and then we start with one of, not the smallest, a nice size metal ball. And again, you do vertical lines. I just color back and forth. Erica, for the tabletop flower stand, there is a whole listing on Etsy for how, and it comes with template 13. But you can also use any of the, a thicker stem. So we did have a workshop, and then I had filmed a separate tutorial to release it on Etsy. So once I go over with the smaller ones, we go over with the larger. I do need to add it to the Memorial Day sale. The tabletop workshop. Oh, that one I forgot to do. You can tell when it stands straight up. So you can see what it takes the shape of the bowl. So we're just stacking all of these. Working our way down our stack of petals. So thank you all for joining. All right, back and forth. 2, 3. 6. Okay, then I go over with the larger end. I still try and make sure I get all of those edges. Okay, and then we press it into the cup, metal cup. And again, I use the same size, the largest of the set of 3 for all of my larger petals. Stir it. And then I just roll it in the center, and we just keep adding it to our pile. Again, the prep is what takes the most with any peony or most flowers. Usually assembly is super fast. So again, I inked a little. You don't have to. You can use a bright. I was going to use pink, but I didn't have enough of the pink. So if I would have used a pink color, I wouldn't have inked a little bit. So I kept this super similar to the traditional crinkled white peonies. Okay, and then I'm going to go over with the larger end a little. Just roll it. And then we take our metal ball, press it in, take a larger one and stir. We want it to get crinkly. So if it gets super crinkly like this, that's what I want. So now I'm just going a little bit faster because I did explain it multiple times. I used white cardstock by Printworks, Erica, and I used the antique linen just like I did for the traditional crinkled white peony. So any white will do, or I was gifted by Printworks, their white cardstock, which I do have in my Etsy shop. Oh, I'm sorry, my Amazon storefront. Oh my goodness. So we're going to make vertical lines. Back and forth. If anybody needs any tools, I will ship tomorrow. And then the next time I ship is on Wednesdays. I can ship on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Then the larger one, I just go over it again. And then we take our larger cup and our larger ball, metal ball stylus, and we just shape our petals. Crinkles, so pretty. Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Thanks everyone for joining. So we are making a supersized flower for our tabletop flower stand. Jeanette, I think you asked for this. Now you can definitely make it more patriotic if you like and use red. And because it's going supersized, we do need to add more layers to make it full. Peonies are super full. But again, any color would be beautiful. You do need 16 sheets of the petals. Now for petal 6, you can get 2 of them on a sheet, so that's why you only need 16. As our petals get smaller, you can use the smaller one. Ooh, one more of this one. This is petal 2. We had 3 of these. So vertical lines with the smaller, the metal ball stylus. Now it's not super small because our petals are large. Our smallest petal is one of the sepals at 6.5. Our actual petals is 5.9 is the smallest. So again, I'm going back and forth. Then I come through with the larger one and go over it. Make sure I'm getting the edges. And then we use our cup here, our mold. And we like them crinkly. Crinkle, crinkle, roll. Oh my goodness. Our kids just they're graduating here. It's super early. They're graduating. Though my brother says they went back to school early. Now we're going to bring in our smallest and second to smallest. We're going to open these up. And we're just going to go back and forth. So make sure you get all the edges. And we're done with our mold. Again, we're just going to color back and forth vertically for all 7 of these. Back and forth. Hey Maria, welcome in. How are you? How's everyone doing? Any fun plans? Let us know in the comments. Do you all have you made the flower stand before? So we're making this one to go on the flower stand. I have quite a few of them, and I've had the same template 13 mini flower on it since the workshop. So you can make this red if you wanted to for the summer, patriotic. We've already made an 8-inch sunflower that can go on your stand. So that's what's fun about it, is you can switch out your flowers. Oh, it should be stopping, Maria. It finally stopped here, but it got super duper windy. I know the nor'easter was making its way up the coast. We did have a little bit of rain here today. I went to walk to my friend's house to check the mail in her house, and it started to rain. I'm like, well, okay, that goes that. I'll drive. Okay, back and forth vertically. Just color back and forth. Don't think about it. Get the little thumbs. Please stretch before this flower. I know I keep saying it, but believe me, I'm on my second one back to back. I feel it. This would make just a fun flower, wouldn't it? That's an idea, right? See, when we make other flowers, they get inspired to make new ones. Yeah, this was from the flower stand. So we're just making some a flower to go on it. I do offer it in my Etsy shop. Just let me add a sale price to it if anybody's interested. I normally put it on sale a little bit each month. So it does come with template 13. And this is the large flower we made to go on it originally. So we are just going back and forth. Now the only difference between my first flower, my sample, and this one is I added more of the antique linen up towards the tips for my very center because I noticed it was super duper white. I wanted a little bit more color up towards the center. Now we're going to take 4 of them, and some of my centers got distorted in size because Cricut design space. When I move things in there on the app, it likes to change my sizes. Okay, so I stacked 4 of them, and I'm just going to cut in between each petal towards the center. This reminds me of corn husks. When you have to pull them off your corn. All right, I need to stretch. Hola, friends. Welcome in. That is our beautiful peony. Now we get to assemble her. I may have miscounted the layers, so we're going to go with it. All right, stretchy, stretchy. I'm going to keep the 4 we cut in towards the center, so you can see that with my precision scissors. And then we have 3. This is all a petal 6. So all I did in my machine's design space, after I have our project set up, this was the original one for the traditional Krinkled White Peony. So we're doing exactly the same thing, except for my center, I didn't use the rolled center. So below this project and last night's flower, you're going to insert another line, right? Type in the date of today, May 23rd, 2025. I actually just duplicated this project, moved it below, because I like to keep my petals so I know which is which. I deleted off the center and I deleted off the petals. And then you're just going to type in the sizes for each of the petals. And I did add some more, but it was easier for me just to duplicate that and then resize them. Okay. Hope that makes sense. we're going to flip our stack of petals. Look, she's so pretty just sitting there. Flip them over. All right, so layer 1 is up. Layer 2 is up, and this is all petal 1. For layer 2, we're just going to roll around where the petals meet the base to lift them up just a little bit more. Flip it over. And we're going to add some hot glue. Okay. You're going to look at your top 2 petals, look at a petal, and bring it straight down. Now, there was 3 of petal 1. Okay, so we're going to just flip this over and set it to the side. Okay. Now we're going to petal 5. And we have 2 of those. So we're going to take our first one. So this is layer 3. This is going to be up. So the petals are facing up. All we need to do is roll right around where the petals meet the base. Add some glue. Okay. Keep rotating it around. Look at your top 2 petals. Look at any petal and bring it straight down in between. Okay. Wait, I gotta put a marker here so I can follow. Layer 4. I'll bring this down. Okay, layer 4 is going to be under. So you're going to flip it over so the petals now are curved under. We're going to place it flat on our mat, and you're going to roll right where the petals meet the base. Okay, so now they're going to be under. I'm going to add some glue on the bottom. We're going to keep rotating it. Look at your top 2 petals. Look at a petal. And bring it straight down in between and press. So now you can see how they look under. We're just going to keep rotating it. Layer 5. Is up. So we just have them stacked. We flipped them over, largest to smallest. Roll the center with your metal ball stylus. Add some glue on the back. I'm going to look at these top 2. I'm going to choose one and bring it straight down. Now our petal shapes change, our sizes change. Oh, she's so beautiful. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'll be typing up instructions for both of these tomorrow. Thank you so much for the stars. Kim, so sweet. Layer 6 is going to be up. Yep, I need to get photos of everything. And I did work today. Oh, I just hurt my finger. Roll right around where the petals meet the base. Okay, look at your top 2 petals. Choose any petal and bring it straight down in between. And press. Layer 7, the petals are rolled under. So with them still facing under, again drooping down, place it flat on the ground, on the tabletop, roll right where the petals meet the base. And that's going to, we're going to have them lift up, so they'll look like that. So on the underside, add your glue. Bring it down in between the previous layers. It gives it texture for when we flip them, for having them facing up and under. That's why I do that technique. Layers 8 and 9 are up. So again, the curl is up. Our bowl is facing up, our teaspoon. Roll right where the petals meet the base. Okay. Look at your top 2 petals. Look at any petal and bring it straight down in between. And press. So you can see my center. Layer 9 is up. Roll the center with your metal ball stylus on your flower shaping mat. Add glue to the bottom. We're going to look at our top 2 petals. Look at a petal and bring it straight down. And my base sizes are changing, so I'm trying to keep it even as possible. Now, if you need to, you can keep rotating it around if it gets off center or anything. So we have 2 more petals, layer 10 and 11. I know I did miscount because the other one's laying there. I forgot we add that at the end. All right, we're going to look at our last layer's petals. Bring it straight down in between and press. So you just keep adding them in between the previous layer's petals. Ooh, she is so beautiful. Look at her. And then layer 11 is up. So most of them are up. We had a few layers we put under. Add your glue to the bottom. I'm just going to look at these 2 petals. Bring it straight down. So I like to stand when I assemble. I actually stand the whole time, but at least when you're assembling, it's a lot easier to make sure that you're keeping it even and it's not super wonky. Oh, Erica, yes, it has written instructions for the flowers and the stand, and also video tutorials. They are on YouTube, however, they are unlisted, so you need to click in the PDF instruction document. And thank you, Maria, for responding. All right, so now we're going to start with the 4 that we cut in towards the center with our precision scissors. Oh, they look like corn husks. I think it's the coloring. All right, we're going to roll right in the very center. And you do get template 13 mini flower with that. I believe it's 13. All right. We're going to just fold these all up. Let them gather in the center. We're going to add some glue on the bottom, and I'm going to go around the sides. Yeah, everything's in the description for that listing, and I can post it. Just give me a few minutes after we're done here to put it on sale. Okay, add it. That petal is pulled back. It's going to go in between. Fold it up and around. Squeeze the bottom. Okay. Oh, she is so pretty. Add some glue. I do go around that side. So you can see, because we cut in between each petal, our center is smaller. Look at one of your petals, bring it straight down, and if you pulled that petal back, it would go in between there. Press up and around. And give that a little squeeze along the bottom there. Add your glue, and I do go around that edge yet. I look at a side petal, bring it straight down. That petal would fall in between those two. My friends in San Antonio, did you see Tom Cruise popped into the Mission Impossible premiere there in San Antonio? You're very welcome, Erica. Oh, stop it, Maria. You're so sweet. Stop it. You know how to make a girl's day. Thank you all. All right. Ooh, we are moving along, friends, right? Told you, assembly goes super duper fast. Look at one of your petals, and actually it's easier if you just come on the back here, you look at your top two, kind of like when you assemble your peonies, and you just attach it. Give it a moment, and then you fold them up and around. So all these are assembled up. Add your glue. Oh, we'll look over here at those two. And that petal's going right in between those two. Fold it up and around. Yeah, I'm already happier that has a little bit more color at the tips. Add your glue. And add the last one. We're going in between the previous layers. Much easier to look at it from the back. Then we're going to put our center right in there. Add your glue. And we're just going to press down. Oh yes, the goose man. I know, but I saw that he was there. He walked right into the theater to thank everybody for coming out to see it. And then he was at some barbecue I saw. Apparently I follow all the San Antonio news stations. All right, she's looking so beautiful. Now, our last petal, which is petal one, our largest petals. Remember, we cut 3 and we put 1 to the side. We're going to add some glue with the petals facing under. Watch your fingers. Flip your girl over, and you're going to look at any of them. Look at your top 2 petals of layer 1 and just place this right in between. So what's going to happen is with this on our stand, our petals are going to go nicely to cover the base. Okay. Then we have our 3 sepals. I don't know why I did 3. I don't know, because I had 3 on my original flower on from the Flower Stand Workshop. With the petals facing up, I roll right around the edge where the petals meet the base. You have 2 larger ones and 1 smaller. Okay, we're going to start with the larger ones. Flip it over. With the petals facing under, add your glue. And place it. I do 2 at least to cover my base on my first layer. Okay, with the petals under, add your glue. We flip it over and we're going to place these right in between. Again, I used a darker color because that's the color I used on my stand. So you want to use a green that you use to make your stand. Or something similar. All right, now, how am I going to do this? All right, I'm going to lift you much higher. Let's put our metal ball stylus away. I need to get a magnet. Oh, okay. I wonder if I can... Okay, so here's my first flower on here, and you can see it's magnetic. So we can easily change it. So there are 3 on our stand. This is a taller one, but we have to watch so it stays even. Now I'm going to add it here. Hopefully you can see. The main thing is, how many magnets do you need to attach? So that way it has enough height, or how much you want to hide of that base. So you can see on this one, I could probably take off one of those. They're not all glued together. So the easiest thing to do so that way I know it's magnetic. I add glue here. Now I do reuse some of my magnets. I pull off of old magnets. Place it right in the center. Now normally I will do smaller flowers. So like if this is 8 inches for my big guy, you could do maybe 6 and 4, or we did 4 and 4 and 8 in the workshop. And then all I need to do is plop it on. Now this is way too heavy for this. So we definitely know 8 will not hold there. So you need to keep that in mind. This one, unless I secure it a little bit more, it's gonna move. So this one would have to be at least a 4 to 5 maybe. And of course it's way too large for the base. So definitely the 8 on the top and maybe a little bit smaller. Unless you really make sure that this one is secured here more with more tape. And it's all going to depend at the angles that you put everything. So I'll go get another stand and we'll attach that one. Okay, so you can see this one. Everyone is a little bit different depending on where you attach your stems. And hopefully this color or this ink, nope. I have to make sure when you glue on, it's the right way because these are opposite. It does fit there, so we'll just put it there for now. Or I could put it over here. There we go. So there you have it. So that's how you do the flower stands. Again, just watch the way your magnets are. I can't put it on here because it's, I guess, negative or positive. It doesn't want to attach. I know I haven't changed mine at all. Now, if you attended, Jeanette, I think you were there for our one at Flower Camp. for that one, we just did one flower. Oh, this one won't stick either because it's the opposite. Oh my goodness. But this one we only did one and we used the larger leaves. So again, you can just switch it out, but I think again I did the magnet the wrong way. Yeah, it doesn't like it. I'll make it stay. We'll make it work. So if you just have the one, that's perfectly fine. So these are great items for parties. You can also rent them out for weddings or anniversaries. You can mount these onto a wood block or in a larger vase. So I do want to make, now I did buy a huge metal base to make the freestanding flowers as well. But that's how you make the tabletop. This one has just one single flower, or you can do the three. But definitely you have to watch your angles for the other two. Let's see if it'll stick at all. It doesn't like that because it's the negative. But if you don't want to, you can just make it a magnet and put it on your refrigerator. He's super pretty. But this is the flower you make with the flower stand tutorial. So thank you all for joining. I hope I can inspire you to make a gorgeous paper flower. I'll get some photos of this. And I'll figure out your sizes for the other two. But thanks so much for joining tonight, and I hope I can inspire you to make a gorgeous, almost 8-inch peony for your tabletop flower stands or your larger projects. So thanks everyone. The yellow one was from Flower Camp. Oh gosh, what year was that, Jeanette? Not last year, in 2023. We made this during Flower Camp. So Flower Camp 2023. And I think I only did it in there. I don't know. It was so long ago. But thanks so much everyone for joining. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day holiday. And I will be around if you do have any questions. For the most part, I'll be around. But again, thank you so much for your love and support and your kind comments to all of you. And I wish you a happy, safe, healthy, and a creative weekend. Take care, my friends. Bye.